So Jim, how did you get into barbecue?
How did I get into barbecue? As a pastor, we used to do a lot of kindness outreaches where we would show God's love in practical ways, and barbecue just was a good fit. So when I came here to Fremont, honestly, we had my nephew's open house and neighbor's open house. They had pulled pork and it was just awful. And I'm like, man, for my son, we've got to do it. And I just, truthfully, it was about showing kindness and building community. I'm like, my town needs this. Because barbecue, I found, just connects people, draws people. And what happened is that I stumbled on a passion that I didn't really know I had.
Okay.
I love to cook. My kids would say, Dad, you need to have a diner, because I would make breakfast, crazy breakfast or whatever. But with a barbecue, there's just so much mystery, and I loved it, and I experienced all this favor. It was like I caught a wind, and I didn't even know it was there, and it just led into one thing after another.
Sure.
Yeah.
So from there then, what made you want to start a restaurant and do this more frequently, you know?
I wasn't trying to start a restaurant. We were just showing kindness, and then people wanted me to cater their events.
Okay.
And so, yeah, and then we started doing all these fundraisers to build, just to be a blessing, to give back to our community. And then there was just more and more demand for what I was doing, and I knew there was more than what was in me than just pulled pork or brisket.
Gotcha.
And so I didn't set out to start a restaurant, but people were demanding more, and I found that that favor, just even in making my own sauces and rubs and developing new sauces, and people just wanting it. Even one lady said, I told my daughter, this is crazy, all I want for Christmas is a jug of your barbecue sauce. And I'm like, this is just ridiculous. Something's going on here, and I have to, then I began to dream.
Yeah.
And I began to dream, and that, where's the potential in this? So
it picked up from there.
Yeah, and so when we opened, we took 8 months to renovate this place, but when we opened, we weren't starting from scratch. We already had a community of people who had experienced my barbecue.
Yeah, so you came in that way. Okay, so obviously you're a pastor. How did your faith influence this business?
Yeah. This is a little off the wall, but sometimes as a pastor, there's just this. It's kind of a slow death for me. Well, because I need to connect with people, and that being a pastor is a hindrance for so many people that I want to reach, that we want to connect with. But I found that the barbecue drew people, and so that guys would come and I could just do whatever, just relate, talk to them, have a conversation, build relationship, build this community, and have it organically happen, and the barbecue is a great vessel for it. So, and then also our restaurant's missional. Like last week we did a fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity. We have another one this weekend for a girl going to doing missions. Yeah. And we continue to do that. Ideally, I want a percentage of what we're doing to go to help feed the hungry in Haiti or what have you. That's part of our business plan. So, and there's an incredible community that's developed here. People that I would never have reached or never have any kind of access or connection with. All of a sudden, there's a bonding, and the food is so natural. And if you look at Scripture, food is just everywhere. Jesus having, food with his disciples, with the Matthew party, where you see Matthew, you see Matthew's broken friends, you see Jesus and the disciples, and you see this community and this connection that's happening. The prodigal son, when he comes home, the father has a barbecue brisket dinner going for him, and so. That's all through the pages of Scripture. For me, I just began to see all this. I began to experience all this, and I saw just people responding. I wasn't looking for this. You know, my church is big enough where I don't have to work a second job, but I began to see a way to be able to do the kingdom, do the ministry of our church in a way that's outside the normal box of what a church looks like.
Sure.
And so even for our church, our restaurant has been the front door for our fellowship for some people. They came here, they experienced kindness, generosity, warmth, hospitality, great food, and a relationship that begins to develop. And so then, you know, they found themselves in our church, and that's really what I'm after: building a relationship, having a conversation, and just showing, like, God's not weird. Christ isn't weird, and he's real for today, and he seems to
That he would enjoy barbecue.
He loves barbecue. Yeah, it seems like. So yeah, man.
So the thing I love about your restaurant is it kind of brings all the regions of barbecue together, especially through your sauces. You have about one for each different region, what they can kind of do with it. So in your opinion, what makes good barbecue?
What makes good barbecue? That it's authentic. There's no shortcuts. Absolutely no shortcuts. That there's a passion for the food. I smoke with fruit wood. I like that. A lot of guys use hickory and they like a strong smoke flavor, but for me, I want the smoke to be an accent and an ingredient and not the main player. I want the meat to do the talking. And so, what makes for great barbecue? You have to have good meat, and then you've got to know how to turn that piece of good meat into a piece of heaven in your mouth.